In front of me here, you can see a new little rifle I bought. It's made by a company called Bergara, which is a Spanish company. This one in particular is called a BA13, B for Bob, A for Apple. This one's chambered in a 308 with a 20-inch barrel. But what appealed to me about this rifle is that it's a takedown version. So basically it pulls apart like an under and over shotgun. One of the reasons I'm doing this little bit of a review or my first impressions of this gun is because I've actually been very impressed with it. For $700 Australian, which is in the bottom end of our rifle range, this is a top-notch little rifle. I've yet to fire it, so maybe I'm a little bit ahead of myself, but just the overall finish of it, the way it's put together, the feel of the gun, the balance of the gun, I'm really impressed, and that's basically why I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. I'm going to be firing it today. I've put a little Holosun 2-minute of angle red dot scope on it. I'm not going to go into that so much because there's plenty of reviews on YouTube about that. But the actual rifle itself has really impressed me so far. As I've said, it's a takedown, and to take it down it's quite easy. It's just a matter of pulling that out, and there you go, it's apart. No tools required. Now if I can put this back together, anyone can. The way it clicks together, the way it just goes back together has impressed me. It's just, look, like I said, for $700 I just can't fault the little thing. It has got quite a tight chamber. I noticed that you do need to full length size all your brass if you're a hand loader. The actual trigger itself, obviously it's a hammer. It is crisp. It's heavier than I would normally have my triggers. And after a little bit of lubricant, clean out of the original grease, the packing grease and that was in the barrel and whatnot, the trigger's tested at about 2 pound 8, 2 pound 10 ounces. And it is crisp. No creep in it whatsoever. Like I said, it's first impressions. I am impressed. The butt pad is, look, it's not as soft as say a limb saver, but it's far better than what I would find on most factory rifles. The way it breaks down, like I said, is like an under and over shotgun. To open the action, it's simply a matter of pulling it back, and there you go. The actual extractor, and that's all it is, it's not an ejector, it's an extractor. It's mechanically driven, not a spring operation. So as it opens, it basically gets pushed on a pin here, which pushes it back. So unless you had a real tight case, I think you'd find this is going to just about pull out any case that you put in there. So anyway, like I said, my first impressions are really good. It did come with open sights. Now, the open sights are actually good, but the alignment with the high cheek piece is pretty much useless. I gave it to 3 different people and not one of us could actually line up the open sights. But look, it's not a deal breaker for me because I never use open sights. And but if you do want open sights, you want to personally pick up the gun and just check it first, because shouldering the gun, you cannot get down low enough to line up with the open sights. But like I said, I removed them. They do supply 2 little blanking screws, and that's all it is to remove them, 2 screws, and off they go. It does come with this Picatinny rail, 4 screws already mounted. So really, this gun, as you're looking at it here, is a ready-to-go deer hunting gun for under $1,000 Australian. Like I said, I originally wanted it just to be able to pull it apart, take it down, and put it in my backpack. And as you can see, with a 20-inch barrel, it's not going to be hard to do. The 16-inch barrel is available in the 308, but it's got a tighter twist, a 1 in 9 twist, and that doesn't appeal to me. It does have the muzzle thread, but we can't take advantage of that here in Australia because we're not allowed to have them for some stupid reason. Anyway, so I'm at the stage now where I'm going to do a little bit of testing, and look, with the red dot on it, I'm not going to probably see the full potential of the gun, but look, I'm going to sight it about 1/2 inch high at 50 yards, That should give me about probably about a 200 yard zero, which will suit me just fine. Now you can see this is my 204 Seiko 85. You can see in comparison, length of pull is about the same, but the actual barrel length, that's a 20-inch barrel. This is a 22, I think, on these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Weight, I think they're 3.1 kilos. Actually, I think, yeah, actually no, 3 kilos, 3.1 kilos, or a bit over 6.5 pounds with this scope, or with this red dot on it. So it's not ultra light, but it balances up really nice. It does point really well. Like I said, I'm impressed, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this review. So unless it shoots really poorly, like I said, it's an impressive little gun. What I did like about it is you could carry a live round in here, close it up. There's no way it can go off unless you pull the trigger with the hammer all the way back. This cannot push onto the hammer. As I pull the trigger, you will see that that allows the hammer to go forward. So even if you were to do that, there is no way known that this gun can fire. Obviously, you should treat every rifle as if it could fire on you, but look, I'm pretty confident. And look, I'm not a big hammer gun fan, but in this case, this is probably going to be used out to 200 yards, possibly maximum. And I'm going to try and use similar loads to what I use in my 308 Finlight. Both have 20-inch barrels. I do tend to run my loads quite warm, so that's what I'm going to test today, how it handles it, and we'll go from there. Tell you, it's a little bit different. I'm not used to shooting with a red dot sight, so this could be interesting. But like I said, I don't expect to get the best out of the rifle with this, but for hunting purposes and for what I need it for, it should be spot on. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it go. I'm not going to bore you with every shot, but what I will do is I will record every shot, and just going to put a bit of faith in me. I'm going to call it as it is. I've got nothing to lose. If I don't like the rifle, the way it shoots, I'll let you know. If I do like it, I'll let you know. So anyway, I'll just fire off a few shots and we'll see what happens. Well, in the end there, I've ended up firing about 5 or 6 shots at that last target, and yeah, look, it's not a fantastic route, but I don't think it's a rifle, I think it's me. I know one, I didn't hold the rifle the same, and it's actually gone a little bit higher, because obviously it's a lively little rifle, but it is nice to shoot. Oh, look, like I said, I know I keep saying it, I am impressed. It's functioned flawlessly, I should say. Nothing's loose. Like I said, I've adjusted the scope. I think it's pretty close to where I want. In all fairness, I think that I am going to stick with a 51.5 grain. Actually, what I probably should do is set my chronograph up and just test a couple of rounds. Actually, I will do that. So we'll just get an idea of the muzzle velocity that I'm getting out of this little 20-inch barrel. Alright, I've got the chrony set up, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of velocity we're getting out of this. So 51.5 grains of Power Pro 2000 behind a 150 grain SST. Okay, that's a little bit slower. Still not bad though, 28.47. I'll fire one more. I'm not going to waste all my hunting ammo on proving things, but it's no slouch, that's for sure. $28.40. double check that. 2840. Well, to say I'm pretty impressed is an understatement. Like I said, to get the best out of it, no scope on it, it's probably not a true test of accuracy, but I've just got that feeling that if I did have a scope on, or if you wanted to put a scope on it, I think you could get really, really good accuracy out of this little thing, and being such a handy little package, it's going to be hard to beat. I know it's one shot, but to me, I treat it a bit like bow hunting. It's all about your first shot. You need to get in, you need to make sure of your first shot, and to be honest with you, I think it makes you a little bit better hunter. So, I'll give Lee a few shots when he gets back, see what he thinks. But at this stage, I really just cannot fault the little thing. It's bloody good. So how did you go?
Didn't see much at all, Steve. I walked a fair way though.
Yeah, well,
Valley and back.
Where I dropped you off is a fair way back.
Oh yeah, but I went right up the other one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You demand.
I don't know. I feel like the man right now.
It's better to feel like the man than feel the man.
Oh well. I pinched your gun, Steve, and I thought I'd have a little bit of a play. I hope you don't mind.
I've seen what you do when you
just test rounds.
I've seen what you do when you take other people's rifles. Jake's never got over it.
I thought I was short.
Are you going to pull the hammer back?
No, I am. I'm just seeing how steady I can hold it. It's not bad, actually.
Works better when you pull the hammer back. If a fox walks past you now, you're blessed.
Yeah. Hang on, there's a nice rock down there. Oh. I like your rifle though, mate.
It's a good little gun.
Yeah. No, it was really nice.
I've said enough about it, but you've obviously had a couple of shots, and as I said, for the money, to even take the money out of it, I'd still buy it. It is a good little rifle. It's nice. It shoulders well. Yeah. It balances up well.
It does.
It shoots good enough. Good enough for me. Yeah. Good enough for what I want. And like I said, if you put a scope on it, I think you could get its full potential.
I reckon in that configuration, I reckon that is its full potential for my intentions of that rifle.
I think so, especially when you break it in half and basically put it. A scope will just add more, more requirements for space. Yeah.
And let's face it, you really, if you're stalking in on most things, you can get in 100, 150 yards.
Well, put it this way, you've got to remember you are still using the 308.
That's right.
It's not a big cannon. You need to place your shots no matter what.
Yes.
And look, ideally, keeping it under 300 is ideal, especially on sambar.
Yeah.
So no, it'll do the job.
Yeah.
Really, like I said, the open sights, I've mentioned that. But take that out of the equation. So far, I've fired about 30 rounds now through it, and I'm just about to clean it. And really, I cannot fault it for what it is. Single shot, but I like the thing.
No, it has a lot of merit, mate.
I can see, I'd never even heard of Bergara.
No.
Well, if that's how you pronounce it, but I'd never even heard of them up until a month ago. Yeah. But it was only when I started looking at a breakdown single shot that the name was mentioned.
So it's mentioned in Jungle Book too.
What's that?
Bergara.
Yeah? I must have led a sheltered childhood. I can't remember that.
No, it's Bergara.
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 So that sounds pretty hot.
Yeah, Russian.
Russian?
Yeah, something like that.
This is Spanish.